What is up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. It is time for roster update number 5, and I've got a lot of potential upgrades to go over. So we got to get right into it right away. This could be a banger of a week. I think I've said that for a lot of the weeks, to be honest. I think last time it was not quite that. Just looking at my list from last time, yeah, it was like an in-between kind of week, and it ended up being an in-between kind of week where it wasn't too crazy. I think this time, as I always say, depending on where they want to go with it, they can be, because like there's guys on the cusp that they can push forward, have a huge week, and all of a sudden we get a bunch of new golds, bunch of new diamonds. That's kind of an option for them. It's not that they are going to ignore guys who deserve it and make it a light week. It's that there's guys that are in that in-between zone where they can definitely get there if SDS wants to put them there, or make them wait a little bit longer. So we'll get into some of those in-between guys for sure. Let's just start at the bottom, though, as we always do. I always got a few commons going bronze. I like this market personally as somebody who does a lot of the team affinity exchanges. I like going in, buying these guys for single digits, and then benefiting that way. So we got a couple guys on the Marlins, in fact. And first one is Anthony Bender, who I don't know either, but he's been amazing. And I got him going all the way up to a 66 because I think he has like 20-ish innings. I get these middle relievers mixed up here, so I don't want to speak out of turn and say, oh, he's thrown this many innings with this strikeout rate, because I couldn't commit that to memory. 19 in the third innings with excellent numbers, though. 0 ERA, 2 ERA. Obviously, we talk about it a million times. Does not matter. There is no ERA per 9 on the card. But what I like to say is that, especially when you're some, kind of off the beaten path middle reliever type, if you're rocking a 0 ERA for 19 and a third, it can draw SDS's attention. And then they can see, hey, Anthony Bender needs a big fat upgrade because he's been awesome. Another guy on their team actually might be under starter here. Yeah, Zach Thompson. Now, he's not as cheap. Maybe he's a newer card, or maybe people are keen to him. I don't know. Still pretty cheap, but not quite as cheap. I got him going up to a really nice 69. He's been excellent as well. He's not actually starting for them. Yes, he is. Actually, he has 3 starts. They're just small. They're just shorter starts. Sorry. 3 starts, 12 innings. So he's kind of like, one of those in-between guys working like 4 innings. 3, 5, and 4 are his starts. But he's been great in all of them. And he's definitely going to get a healthy upgrade because of it. And then we have one other common to bronze that I'm keyed in on this week. Big fat upgrade for this guy. If you play fantasy, you're all about... all about Sam Long. He was a really popular pickup last week in fantasy circles. I got him going all the way up to a 70. He, too, has been excellent in that little bit of that hybrid role. I think his first appearance was like 4 or 5 relief innings. Then he had a couple starts. So he looks pretty good, too. Got him going up to a 70. Now, this next guy's only going up to a 69, but he's only bronze to bronze. That's why I skipped him, went to Long, and now I'm coming back to Chas McCormick for the Astros. Here he is, literally free. Get him for 25, literally base price, I should say, not free, but 25 stubs. Don't have him going up to silver yet or anything. I got him at a 69, 4-point boost there. It's an open question of how much he continues to play, because for as much of a better hitter as he is than Miles Straw, I think he's a worse defender in center, of course. And so they have to balance that. Now, the Astros have had a great offense this year, despite giving up 2 free spots with Straw in center and Maldonado behind the dish. Now, Kyle Tucker being on the IL also opens up some playing time for Chas McCormick. So we'll see. But he has been very good. I think get him a little boost here and then see what's up. If they platoon him and basically just play him primarily against lefties, that could be an avenue for him to go even higher. But I think the train stops somewhere in the low 70s for him. I just, right now, as it stands, I don't see silver because he can't really hit righties. And being a short side platoon guy is going to limit what you can do. But he will get an upgrade this week, or certainly should, based on some of the production he's put up recently. Next up is Bobby Bradley. I'll buy that one for 30. Why not? Big power guy coming in for Cleveland, smashing the ball. kind of a prototypical power guy, all or nothing type dude that we've been seeing so far with his big strikeout rate. But the power has been there as well. I think he has 4 homers in the majors. Let me find him. 5 already. He has 5 in 55 plate appearances. So he's come out of the gates swinging and hitting really nicely. He's definitely going to catch a boost. Probably just against righties. He has a 917 OPS against lefties, but it's so misleading. First off, he only has 12 plate appearances, which is nothing. And he has a homer for his only hit. So he's 1 for 8 with a homer, so that and 4 walks. So that leads to a 125, 417, 500 line. Very bizarre. I think they'll leave his lefty work as is, but against righties, he should get a boost, particularly with that power. Bobby Bradley could get to silver this year. He has that kind of power, that kind of hit tool against righties at least. It's going to matter. It's going to depend what he can do against lefties. You can get to silver, though, as a righty destroying platoon guy. So we'll see how he continues. But I think right now he's going to go up 3-4 points. What did I put him at? I got him up to a 70 right now. And I backed out first time. Early this time. It usually takes me a while to accidentally back all the way out. Next up is Pablo Sandoval. He's been incredible. I see a big boost for him. 71, 72 range. Definitely silver upside here. I can see a save for silver. He's really changed his approach. He's throwing that changeup a lot, just owning it. This has been a trend across the league. You got a great pitch, throw your best pitch. Nobody says you have to throw your shit pitches to get to your great pitch. Use your best pitch. And that is a change across the league in the recent 6-7 years, maybe upwards of even a decade, as we started to see the change. Because a lot of times guys will be like, oh, I have to get to my my great slider, but I have to throw a bunch of fastballs first. Well, they all got hit. No, now you can just throw first pitch sliders, throw early count sliders. That's what he's doing with his changeup, and it's working quite a bit. Strikeout rates up, walk rates fine. It's actually up a little bit from last year, but it's still fine. But then the hit rate has greatly improved. The way Sandoval is pitching right now, definite silver potential for him. Let's go. Oh, geez. Now I'm just backing out every time. My goodness. It's all right. Right over to Cleveland. Talk a little bit about Emmanuel Kossay. Got him for a couple points right now, up to a 72. This is one of those guys where the disconnect between, watching him and enjoying how good he is in real life disconnects a good bit with our MLB The Show purposes because, .88 ERA, he goes out there, throws 100-mile-an-hour cutters. We're like, well, how's he not a gold? He should be amazing. Well, the skills are like, they're fine. He's got 33 strikeouts in 30 and 2/3 innings. That's fine for a reliever. These days, though, that's not really that special. Walk rate is just under 4 at 3.8. That's not very good. And the hit rate at 7.0 is pretty good. So it's all like pretty good. Definitely on a silver track, but I think he kind of caps out there unless the strikeouts take a massive jump or the walks take a massive dip. One of those two things has to happen, though. Let's go over to my Tigers here. This guy's had an amazing trajectory thus far, Akil Baddoo, and I got him going for the 4-point upgrade that we see here on his card. Now, one of the things I like about what he's done, obviously he got off to that amazing hot start to begin the year, and he was kind of the flavor of the first couple weeks. Got that tops now. Who's this guy that the Tigers got? Cool name, Akil Baddoo, just doing everything. And then he hit the skids big time, and it was like, well, he was a Rule 5 pick. Maybe we should have expected this, and maybe he's not that good after all. My man went into the lab and kind of reworked things quite a bit and became more patient, smarter at the dish, and it has paid off handsomely. And just since the last roster update, he's hitting 406, 486, 531. But even if you kind of go back further than that and look at what he's been doing basically over the last 6 weeks, 352, 484, 493. Now, there isn't a ton of power going right now because he has 1 homer, 1 triple, 5 doubles in that time. This is, again, back since May 11th. But the walk rate has been off the charts. He has more walks than strikeouts. So I think both the vision and discipline need to go up because he's not striking out at a huge, 40% clip anymore, and he's walking a ton. So I think Akil Baddoo definitely has some silver play in him with these new skills that we're seeing. Let's go out to a veteran who's kind of working his way back on track. We saw a huge outing out of Jake Odorizzi earlier this week. Is he listed as a reliever? Well, that's going to change. Oh, well, I didn't realize that he was listed as an RP. So they're going to put him back at SP. That alone should get him a boost. That's probably going to be worth 3 or 4 points. So I had him going to a 72, but now he might actually go to silver, because just moving from RP to SP is going to be worth a boost, just because when you go to SP, you get a higher rating. And he deserves an upgrade based on the way he's been pitching since coming back. So I think there's actually an opportunity for silver here. Maybe they put him right on the cusp of that at a 74 and say, okay, let's wait another couple weeks. But strikeout rate, walk rate, hit rate have all been great. Home run rate's the only issue, and we don't care about that in DD because it doesn't matter. So, yeah, I missed that RP factor with Odorizzi, so that makes him an even better investment right now because he's dirt cheap, and he could be going silver. Next up, go out to Toronto, talk about Ross Stripling, who's been pitching very well for them. Big Ross Stripling fan, dating back to his time with the Dodgers. And I remember when he got traded to the Blue Jays, I was like, well, now he'll finally get the opportunity to get a full, unquestioned starting role. Well, he did, and he was terrible. And even to start this year, it wasn't great. He actually pitched in the game I went to Houston and watched the Jays Astros, and it was like pretty unimpressive. It fell apart there. More or less since that start, though, he's been quite good. His next start out was against the Braves, and he pitched well. He got beat up by the Red Sox the start after that, but then 6 starts since then. So basically what we're dealing with is, since that Houston start, he has 44 innings with 48 strikeouts, 10 walks, 33 hits allowed. He's been incredible. So I think we see a big boost here. Got him up 4 or 5 points. I got him up to a 73 right now. He is knocking on the door for silver. His teammate, reliever Jordan Romano, is he under CP? Yes, he is. Got him going up 4 points to a 74. He's definitely a save for silver. I think he's the best piece in that bullpen. Let's go out to a really fun BR guy and talk about the prospects of Taylor Ward. And the reason I like him so much as a BR guy is because he's a backup catcher. And if you take one of those super slow guys, I like to have somebody who can run a little bit in case, you know, your Yasmani Grandal gets a base hit in the 3rd inning of a game and is painfully awful speed. What are you going to do? You bring in Taylor Ward. He's the pinch runner and the backup catcher all in one. And now I think he can go up to like a 74, maybe even silver. But if he goes up to a 74, then he's a high bronze. Now all of a sudden he becomes even more interesting. If he goes to silver, now you're looking at somebody who can maybe be your starting catcher in BR. I don't know. I have 1 plate appearance with him, so I don't really know how well he swings. But Taylor Ward is on my radar, and I got him going up to a 74. Let's go out to Arizona. We got a couple guys here for the D-backs. Their season has been a nightmare, but they got a few guys playing well. And we're going to talk about Pavin Smith first. Here he is at a 72. Got him going up to a 74. His power has come down a bit lately. He's really going to have to tap into that to get to silver, let alone maybe gold potential. But this is a high prospect who is going to play the rest of the year, going to get opportunity to really show what he can do. So I definitely like him to go to a 74 here and knock on the door for silver and maybe get there in a couple weeks. Teammate Merrill Kelly is going to be right there at a 74 as well. I got both them at 74. He's been pitching well, one of the few guys actually doing anything on the mound for the D-backs right now. Let's bounce over to Baltimore real quick. They've got an impressive young player in the form of Ryan Mountcastle, who apparently gets -2 against righties, and that gives him 4 points. Inside edge is kind of wonky right now. I don't think that that's accurate. I have him going to a 74. Definite silver candidate. Frankly, if things really popped off, he's a fringe gold candidate. Now, the reason I would not invest in him as a hold for gold is because while it's in the cards that he could get there because he is a good hitter, I'm not betting on it because I don't fully believe in his hitting profile as like a top tier guy. I think he's a lefty destroyer, and anything that will move beyond that will depend on what he can do against righties. And so far this year, he has a 701 OPS against righties. So not a whole lot to go off of. Next up is, oh God, the best number 2 hitter in the history of baseball. If you were in the stream last year when I played March to October with the Athletics, you know that they were desperate to put Tony Kemp in the 2 spot, no matter what. No matter who I had on the team, no matter how overmatched he was, they were like, you know what? He fits the traditional old school mold of a number 2 hitter, and by golly, we're going to put him in there. So they just kept putting him in. He's actually been great. I think he is batting number 2 in real life, but he has been hitting really well. So maybe MLB was on to something a year early with Tony Kemp, because he's actually flashing some pop as well. He's got 4 homers on the season. And to put that in context, his career high is 8 in 279 plate appearances. So, you know, he's actually hitting for a little punch. I'm looking now to see if he's actually hitting second. He is... no, he has hit second a bit for 35 plate appearances, but mostly 8 or 9. He bounces around the lineup for sure. But he's hitting righties and lefties. I think that power is going to get the big boost. I think he's going to go silver here. Tony Kemp's got a decent foundation to work off of. I think he gets the 3 points and goes silver. A lock silver has been one of the best hitters in baseball recently, and that's Schwaber. Kyle Schwaber. You see the market's already there at 200 on the sell now, because they know, obviously. I mean, he hits a home run every single day, it seems. I got him going up to a 75. Hey, that's fine. You know, as far as us playing BR, we like him when he's a bronze. He's still very draftable as a silver. So this won't ruin the BR aspect of Kyle Schwaber. How many of you are paying attention to what Wade Miley's doing this year? When I tell you he goes silver, does that hit your ear weirdly? Are you like, wait, what? How the hell is he going silver? I'll tell you, dear viewer. By pitching remarkably well. 285 ERA, 106 whip. Again, ERA does not go on your card anywhere, but he has quality skills underneath. Now, the strikeout rate's never a big thing for him, and it still isn't, so that's not really going to go up. But the walk and hit rates are going to get boosted because he has a 2.3 walk rate and a 7.3 hit rate. Both of those should get a boost. Put Miley in silver, and voila, he's been pretty good. Now, because he doesn't get strikeouts, there is no hold for gold potential as far as I'm concerned. I would not invest in Wade Miley beyond this week. If you are going to invest in him to get those extra points into silver, by all means, but cap your expectations here. My man's out in Milwaukee couldn't see the ball in the Trop. And so Willy Adames is out here doing his thing as a Brewer, and he's been excellent. And I think he's going silver, or back to silver, as it were. I believe he started the season in silver, was terrible with the Rays, got traded. We learned that he literally could not see the ball in his home park. Then you go look at his home road splits as a Ray, and you're like, holy crap, that's so stark, so obvious. How did I miss this? And since joining the Brewers, he's hitting 280, 342, 486 with 4 homers in 117 plate appearances. There's some hold for gold vibe here too. I really believe in what Adames is doing. I believe in the home road thing with Tropicana, meaning he should be able to see the ball the rest of the year for the most part, unless he winds up in another park for a 3-game set where he can't see it, including maybe a trip back to Tampa Bay. I don't know if they're on the schedule for Milwaukee, but I really believe in what he's doing. I always liked him as a breakout candidate and never understood why he couldn't quite get over that hump. And now I understand. It was his home park, and half your games being played there when you can't freaking see. The fact that he even had like a 640 OPS at home when you can't see the ball is impressive. Even though 640 is obviously very bad, but when you're basically like, hey, now I'll hit. Big ups to him there. But yeah, I think Adames has some long-term hold for gold viability if that's something that interests you. Let's go on to another Spore favorite who's finally popping off. He found himself on the team that perennially needs outfielders, and that offered him the opportunity to just go out, play, and show what he can do. I liked Harold Ramirez back with Miami, and I thought he could be something there. Didn't really quite get going. Showed a few little flashes here and there. Hit 276 with 11 homers back in 2019. Didn't get any playing time last year, despite the fact that their offense wasn't very good. I don't know if he was hurt or not. I actually can't remember there. But like I said, winds up in Cleveland, has been getting a full playing time, and has been making the most of it for sure. Crushing lefties, but holding his own against righties. I think we see a nice little even boost across the board. Or maybe not even. I think more against lefties than righties. But a nice little boost to all four there. Going to go up to a 76. There is gold potential, but between he and Adames, I like Adames much more because I think he's got more raw power that he can tap into. Whereas Ramirez, I'm still not convinced that he can necessarily hit righties consistently. And so that's going to be the hurdle that I need to see with him to get over. And if that power can be there, then he could be a gold as well. But for now, we got him going up to a 76 and into the silver range. Like Schwaber, this guy is very much expected. You guys are probably waiting for me to figure out when he's going to come. And it is Gary Sanchez. Tearing the cover off the ball. He's been elite. Going on, several weeks now at this point. Similar to Schwaber, don't worry, BR folks. He's only going to be a silver. It's not going to change your ability to use him. I haven't even really used him this year. In fact, I've been dog shit with him, 0 for 10. But yeah, he's got to catch a boost. He's got to get to silver. He is tearing the cover off the ball again for a while now. Could he get to gold? I'm going to say no. The batting average just won't allow it. So even with this hot streak, even if he maintains this and doesn't really come back down and kind of stays, even keel here, crushing lefties and doing all right against righties, I still don't see it. Last 28 days, though, 11-19 OPS and 6 homers. So he has been excellent. He's definitely going silver. Next up is an interesting silver. I never would have thought that I'd be saying he has to get back to silver, but that's where we are at with Luis Castillo. He is going to get back to silver, and he is a hold for gold, folks. If you've been watching him, I'm pretty dialed in on virtually every start of Luis Castillo, which is interesting because I don't have him in fantasy this year. And it's more just because of two things. One, I've been a fan of him since he came to the majors. Two, the fact that he was struggling so much, I wanted to kind of watch and see what's going on and see if he can kind of build out, jump out of this hole that he dug for himself. And he has. I think his last 4 starts have been really good. 26 strikeouts, 24 2/3, 10 walks, a little high, but only 13 hits. So the hit 9 is definitely coming up. So is the strikeout rate. The walk rate will probably stay or even move down a couple ticks, but it'll be enough to get to silver. And if he continues to pitch this well or better, which is what I expect, then he will go gold. So get your gold, hold for gold shares on Luis Castillo now because he's super cheap. Now we get into the silver for silver realm here. These guys are going up to 78, 79, meaning they're our next golds. So these are the guys you want to invest in now while they're still cheap. Plus, I got 10 guys here. There's probably one of them where I'm wrong and they go high. So you get in now just in case, and then all of a sudden when they hit, you're all good. Framber Valdez is a guy that he hasn't pitched a lot, but I try to be, very forward and honest about my takes, and not afraid to pump somebody up when I hit a home run on somebody. But I gotta point it out when I take a fat fucking L too, and I took a massive whiff on Framber Valdez. Now put aside all the injury stuff. I didn't predict injury. I wasn't worried about injury or anything. That finger is kind of a fluke injury. So that kind of derailed the start to his season. For me, you could have said perfectly healthy, going to start the year and pitch all year, 30-something starts. And I would have said, okay, it's not going to be that great. Because I looked at last year's season and I saw the quality skills, but the under the hood didn't really make sense, like how he earned all those strikeouts. And I think I'm starting to notice a trend, and I need to get with somebody like Jeff Zimmerman, my colleague over at Fangraphs, to study these guys. Because I'm starting to at least see an anecdotal disconnect with curveball guys and their swinging strike rates being pedestrian relative to the big strikeout rate that they're earning. So there is a there's like a shorthand for swinging strike rate that if you go 2 to 2.5x the swinging strike rate, you can get like an assumed strikeout rate. So if you have a 10% swinging strike rate, you can range between 20 and 25% strikeout rate, depending on how when those come, the sequencing of them. But you got to be careful with that 2.5x. That's like the high end. And that's where he was last year. He had Framber Valdez had a 10% swinging strike rate and a 26% strikeout rate. So he was even above it, barely, but he was basically at 2.6. And it didn't really marry why he could get that many strikeouts and how he limited the walks. That's what shook me too. I didn't see somebody that really deserved a 6% walk rate based on the normal go-to stats. Well, I've kind of come to the conclusion here, and it's only been 5 starts this year, but I think he's not quite somebody who fits into the mold of, if his swing strike rate is this, it's going to be this strikeout rate. If he does this with his first pitch and zone contact and zone percentage, then his walk rate's going to be this. Like, he's not fitting the mold. And I'm looking at him more and more, and I'm like, okay, I think he can kind of do these things where his strikeout rate runs a little high, his walk rate runs a little bit better than you would expect, and just be a stud. So all that preamble to say, I got him going up to a 79, but he's right there, depending on what they want to do with him. Interestingly enough, his swinging strike rate has gone up to 12%, but his strikeout rate's gone down to 22%. But he's still not walking guys, and he's not allowing hits. Definitely getting a 79. Definitely hold for gold. I like Framber Valdez. I'm coming around on him, and I'm taking my L for the season. Even after 5 starts, and maybe he comes around to what I thought, and I go back and take the victory lap. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think just watching him a bit more and kind of trying to figure out what he's doing, I think that he's better than I gave him credit for in the offseason. I do still want to figure out if there's something with curveball guys having swinging strike rates that don't quite marry with their strikeout rate, if it's something about when you deploy a curveball and when you get those swinging strikes off the curveball. Because if you're consistently throwing it in the 2-strike counts, and so most of your swings and misses on it are going for strikeouts, that's different than somebody that throws like a slider 35% of the time and just gets swings and misses throughout the count. So I don't know. I got to figure out exactly what I'm searching for there. But the bottom line is I'm coming around on Framber Valdez. I think I put him at 78 on the sheet. 78, 79. I got him just under gold, but I'm doing a hold for gold with him for sure. Teammate, Luis Garcia. Got him going up 2 points to a 78. I talked about this a while ago. He got the nod over Christian Javier when they started to get guys back like Odorizzi and McCullers from the IL and Framber Valdez himself. And everyone's like, well, that's a big vote of confidence in Garcia. And it is, but at the same time, it isn't. And I think I might have already talked about this on stream, so I apologize if I did. But it's a vote of confidence in that, hey, you're pitching brilliantly. We want you to keep going. But I think it's a low-key vote of confidence for Christian Javier that they trust him more down the stretch, that they're going to manage his innings here in the early summer so that come August and September, they have Javier in the rotation. Whereas with Luis Garcia, he's going to be having to take that time off at some point, and it looks like it's probably going to come August, September, perhaps. We'll see. Now, the wrench in all of that is if guys get hurt, guys who have been hurt a little bit already this year or anything like that, then they'll have to use all those guys anyway. Bottom line is, though, Luis Garcia deserves an upgrade. He's got gold skills, and I think you can start buying in on him. Hold for gold. Next up, let's go to Oakland for a couple guys that are mid-tier silvers looking to get that gold sooner than later. Sean Manaea pitching very well on the season, and he's going up. I got him up to a 78, and basically, if he keeps pitching like this, especially the way he's missing bats, I think his strikeout rate's up a decent bit this year. Yeah, it's up to 9.2, which is good for him. 9.2 is not off the charts. It's better than a 55, though. And he was at 7.5 K9 last year, so he's going up there. His hit 9 might not move that much, but his walk rate could go up even a little bit more. He does not walk guys, but I see a couple points right now. He's a mid-tier hold for gold for me. I'm not super I'm not super sold on him as a gold guy because I don't believe in his strikeout potential. Teammate Jake Diekman we talk about those tease guys, those tease power hitters, usually like from Framil Reyes, silver trying to go gold, or like Nelson Cruz, gold trying to go diamond. This is the relief pitcher version of that silver trying to go gold that teases us every year. Because every year Jake Diekman has not every year because he's been hurt, but whenever he's pitching, there seems to be a run where it's like, does he finally go gold? And then he goes back to walking too many guys, and then they don't do it. I think he's going to go to a 78 here this week, and then we kind of play the wait and see. Can he have like a 2-week period where he just doesn't walk anybody, and we just like steal gold real quick, and then clear our stubs, and then he can go back to walking guys, and he can even lose gold? I don't care, because we have the gold flashback card, so we don't need him to go to gold to make this card better. So I just want it for the greedy reasons of, let me get some stubs, and then he can even lose the gold. But without limiting the walks in some capacity, he's just not going to get there. But I do see a 78 this week. Let's stay out west and talk about Seattle starting pitcher Yusei Kikuchi, who I've got going up to a 78. Hey, he's finally starting to really tap into that potential. He's kind of teased and tantalized throughout his major league career thus far, which hasn't been that long, by the way. He is always throwing like 99 in spring and getting people excited. And then the season comes and it's like, hey, another 5-something ERA. And that's what he's had coming into this year. He had like a 5.30 ERA for 200 innings. Well, so far this year, strikeouts are good. Walk rate's way down, and so is the hit rate. And that's where his big gains are going to come from. I think the strikeout rate needs to go up a little bit too, somewhere into the mid-60s. But the walks and the hits are what we're going to see an improvement for. 3.46 ERA, 104 whip. He's been great, and I think Yusei has a definite gold potential. Next up is, this one right here. He's close. We've been holding Tyler Maui for a long time, y'all. I got him at a 79, and it's very close. I could have easily put him at gold, to be honest. It was one of those cusp types where if they go ahead and give him the final push, he's certainly deserving of it. I'm playing it a little bit cautious because I've been aggressive in the past, and I don't want to get hopes up again, my own or y'all's. But I will say he has 3 starts since the last update, 26 strikeouts in 16 innings with 6 walks, 13 hits. So I think the real opportunities here for the walk rate to go up into the mid to high 60s and the strikeout rate to go up into the high 70s, low 80s. I think those are the avenues that we're looking at. If that's worth 3 points, great. If not, we continue to wait. I have a ton. So I'm ready. My body's ready for Maui to go gold. But I got him at a 79 right now, and if he doesn't get there, just hold. Here's another one that I'm not entirely sure. He is out of his mind. He's in the Schwaber, Gary Sanchez realm lately. It's Jonathan Scope. I don't know, because here's one thing I don't know too. If he goes to first base, does that help or hurt? I don't know. I would think maybe it would help because he's a gold defender at second, which would make him even better at first, perhaps. But he is the first baseman. He should probably be position changed. Let's see here. He's played 42 games at first, 20 at second. So at least he's playing second. They can justify it that way. But the bottom line, we're not worried so much about what he's doing defensively. No one cares about that, Paul, you idiot. They want to talk about the offense. My man's has been absolutely electric for a while now. We're going on a month of the scopening, and when he gets dialed in, nobody gets him out. And that's been the case. Lefties have no chance against him. He's literally hitting 500 since the last roster update against them. 7 for 14 with 2 walks. And righties are having their troubles with him too. 925 OPS. So 5 homers, 1154 composite OPS since the last roster upgrade. Should get updates to his core 4, which are the 2 contact and 2 power numbers. Is it enough to get gold? I don't know though. I think there was a recent inside edge where he got fat upgrades against righties or lefties. I can't remember which side, and he was only a 78 or a 79. That's why I'm being a little cautious here. Obviously, invest for gold here because he's been killing it. I just don't know if it comes this week or not. I'm just a little in between on him, so I put 79 for him. And I hadn't backed out in a while, so I figured that was high time that I accidentally do that again. All right, let's go to the relief realm here. Another one that's very close is Ryan Tepara. Got him going up to a 79. He's a recent silver, but he's been pitching so well that he absolutely could go gold. He got a Diamond Player of the Month card as well. And so he's firmly on the radar. Can he get to gold? Yes. Will it happen this week? I don't know. I chose no for this week, but we'll see. Another Ryan who's right there is McMahon. Oh, is he listed at first base? He is. Ryan McMahon for the Rockies. Now, he's been pretty consistent all year. Remember, he got that Tops Now early, which that card is still godly, by the way. And he's just been kind of plugging along. He's got 16 homers, 816 OPS. You know, it's all good. But is it enough to get to gold? And I don't quite think so, partly because he's now running a pretty heavy platoon. He's just not hitting lefties very well. 386 slug against them means that power's coming down. Where I think he's going to get a boost is against righties, and it's going to be negated a bit by a drop against lefties. That's why I think he's either going to get 1 point or he's going to get nooched. So be careful with Ryan McMahon investments. He's still long-term got hold for gold potential, but in the short term, I would be careful. Did Jonathan Scope just steal third base? Yes, he did. What is happening? He really wants to go gold, so he's trying to do anything he can to go gold. Oh, yeah. Chad has pointed out that Ryan McMahon's defense is really good, and that's what could get him over the hump. It's just a matter of if SDS is going to give that some attention and put that into the mix. Now, we're getting around the time near All-Star break when they start to give defense a bit more attention, and they do kind of a sweep of defense to see who's really popping off this year. That could be his key. So keep that in mind as you're investing in Ryan McMahon. So I would still invest now if you believe in him. Just understand that if they don't do that defensive move, he's probably not going to get it this week. Another one that I'm worried about not getting it this week. Remember when I said if he gets a position change, he's definitely going. Well, he got a position change. He didn't go. And now his last 2 weeks have been kind of, they've been fine. My boy Mark Canha. You know, few guys I'm more invested in than Canha. So I definitely want him to get there. I just don't see it yet, y'all. He was solid. He was solid these last 2 weeks, but not special. So I don't know that there's really an upgrade here, except maybe a little contact against lefties. He's hitting 294 against them in the last 2 weeks, but that's it. He has a 782 OPS against lefties, 743 against righties. That doesn't scream upgrade. So you might have to buy the dip again, y'all. And I would wait, by the way, see what happens this week. If he doesn't get it, when he doesn't get it, dive in, because people will sell off like crazy and they'll start to get off the Canha train. Not me. So yeah, I got him going to 79. Now let's get into some guys going to gold. This is a return to gold, but I think he's going to get there. When did he lose gold? When did Ryan Presley lose his gold? Was that wasn't just this last update, was it? But either way, he's been pitching so well that I think he's going to come right back and get pushed back up here. I'm looking right now on the last update. It was last update. He lost 2 points, but I really think he's going to take it right back. Now, I don't know how often they yo-yo like that, where somebody loses it and comes right back and says, nah, give me that back. But you look at him since the 9th, which is when the last update locked, he has 10 strikeouts, 0 walks, and 2 hits in 5 innings. It's only 5 innings, but it's been so good that I don't know how he wouldn't go right back. Frankly, I don't really understand why he lost it. He has one bad outing this year when he gave up 3 runs against the Padres. So I don't really understand why he ever lost it. He should go back. That's what I believe. So I got Ryan Pressly going up. Let's stay in the bullpen here. Go out to the Mets. Talking about Trevor May. I think he recently lost his too. And he's going to come right back and get it. Was he also this past update? He was. So again, I know it's weird to yo-yo somebody that quickly, but I do wonder if maybe they should have held off even dropping them, because then all of a sudden 2 weeks later it looks great for them to go right back into the gold tier. Now between the two, I like Pressly more than Trev, but Trev has 10 strikeouts, 1 walk, 4 hits, and 5 2/3 since the last roster update, so he's right there too. So hold for gold for both without a doubt. Both should get it, but if only one can, then I would say Pressly has the better case. Let's go back out to Colorado and back out to first base. They got 2 first basemen that are on the cusp. CJ Cron could get there on hitting merit. He doesn't need defense, and he's on track. He dealt with a little bit of injury to start the season, kind of derailed him, but he's been what we expected CJ Cron to be in Colorado, which is very good. I think crushing lefties alone can get him there. I mean, he does live up to this platoon, but he has a 1059 OPS against lefties. So I think he can definitely get the move up and get to gold here. Now we go to a team that some of y'all probably are waiting for with bated breath to see how I'm going to treat these guys. And I have 2 of them going. Who are they? First, T-Raj. Market's been there for a minute, so I won't belabor this one too long because there's not much room to invest in. But I think he's got to go. He's got to. I got him to an 80. He's been amazing. Pilo. I got him to an 80. He's 1 point away. He's been great. I think he's making the grade to get there. Sandy. I don't see it. I'm sorry, Sandy folks. I know you're not happy about that, but I don't quite see it for Alcantara yet. I think Lopez and Rogers are getting there, or they absolutely should, and Alcantara has to wait a bit longer. Now, he's pitched well, and you're going to have some idiot be like, well, he has a 1.21 ERA. Why wouldn't he get upgraded? We already said ERA does not matter for your roster update because he has 16 strikeouts in 22 1/3 innings. That K rate basically here we go. Here's the easiest way to say it. Sandy Alcantara, and put aside the injury that just happened to this guy, but Sandy Alcantara is the National League's Aaron Savali. So you can watch every start he has and just watch for strikeouts. And until the strikeouts move up, he's probably not going to go gold unless he just stops walking anybody. That's the only path for him right now. So I'm going Lopez and Rogers, and I'm sorry to the Alcantara folks. Who says the Pirates are trash, dude? Because they're about to have 2 golds. Because Brian Reynolds, man. Listen, last year was awful. And, if you're familiar with things like regression to the mean and small samples and why small samples are dangerous, then you understood that judging him off of last year's season was a little foolhardy. Like, he was so bad. It's like, was 2019 a total stone cold fluke in every possible way and he's truly an awful player? Or is 2020 the stone cold fluke that, he just never really got going? 231 BABIP, strikeouts went way up because he was pressing, and it was just a lost 55 games. Turned out to be that. Because you look at his season right now, and he looks a lot like 2019 with more power. So I think Brian Reynolds has to go gold here. He's been excellent. So he and Frazier will be their golds, and I think he's going to get there. Still a little juice left at 700, but hopefully you're already in on him because you don't want to invest. At this point, there's just not a whole lot of profit. But I do think he has a great shot to go. So my confidence is high with Brian Reynolds. All right, now we have a ton of gold to gold guys, and these are going to set up the next potential diamonds here. Maybe not the first 2 guys because they're only going to 82, especially the very first guy. I don't think he's really going to go diamond. But I do like to cover these guys too, just to be diligent. Make sure that we're staying on top of everything. Let's go out to Tampa Bay. Dude, I would have been shook if you told me this guy was going to be a gold this year. Then if you had thrown in that he's actually going to go even higher, maybe up to an 82. Okay, but Joey Wendell has continued to tear the cover off the ball. Now, he is heavily platooned, as you can see on this card, and that's what he's living up to here. So he's almost... Now, this is only in terms of being a platoon, not anything else, really. But he's almost like an American League Jesse Winker, in that he's so deficient against one side of the plate that it's going to prevent him from going diamond. Now, again, there are differences between these two. He's a great defender. Winker isn't. Winker is doing something against lefties. He's not quite this inept, but Wendell's also not as good against righties. I just mean in terms of diamond being stifled by the fact that he's a pure platoon bat. That's what we're at with Wendell, because he's still killing righties, but it's just not going to be enough. So he's going to get 2 points up to an 82. He's probably going to cap out around 82, 83. This guy could be on his track back to diamond, but it's going to take a while for Matt Chapman. You can get in on the ground floor right now because he is base price, but if you're not a patient investor, then don't do it, because it's going to take a while. But he is back hitting the ball very well lately since the last update. 1178 OPS against lefties, 1112 against righties, 4 homers in 44 at-bats. He's working his way back. I got 2 points here for Matt Chapman this week. Going to the Twins, talking about their closer, Taylor Rogers. Got him up for 2 points this week, up to an 83. I think I had him going to an 83 last update, and he didn't move. And I was like, okay, I guess. What does he have to do, though? You know, we talked about him very early in the season about how, you know, he's got these great skills. How could he really get to diamond? He'd have to start striking out more guys, walking even fewer, and even allowing fewer hits. Well, he's done all 3 of those things, especially recently. And you look at since the last update, he has 8 strikeouts, 0 walks, 3 hits, and 5 innings of work. You go all the way back since the update before that. So the last 2 periods, 16 strikeouts, 2 walks, 9 hits, and 12 1/3. So I got Taylor Rogers going up 2 points to an 83, and he is a destined for diamond candidate at this point. And it's a free roll. You can get in for 1,000 right now, and if he doesn't get there, you're not out anything. So it's a no-risk investment for somebody that I do think can get there, and he's been pitching remarkably well this year. Next up, we go to Boston. We talk about Rafael Devers and his quest for diamond. He's also a free roll pickup. I got him going up 2 points to an 83 right now. And yes, there is diamond potential in his bat this year. This is an elite hitter. And frankly, he needs to hit his way through the poor defense and the lack of speed to get to diamond. But it is possible. Here's the catch, though. He's going to need to do something against lefties to bridge the gap on those last 2 points, because I think he's going to go to 83 this week, and then he's going to be stuck kind of waiting to see if he can get those final 2 points. And if he doesn't do anything against lefties, it's probably not going to come. But I do think he's going to set himself up this week with the 2-point jump to 83. Speaking of a 2-point jump to 83, I think Randy Arozarena is going to get there. He's hitting very well. He's got diamond potential for sure. We know he can hit against righties and lefties. He's just a really good player that when he catches a major hot streak, he's gonna be on that diamond chatter multiple times this year, I think. We'll see if he can get there, but I think he's also a free roll. So if you want to get in, go ahead. Let's talk about somebody who's in the mix for the player of the month, and that's Michael Brantley. I got him going up to an 83 right now with the way he's crushing the ball. Can he get the diamond? Not without sustained power. That's the tough part, because even in the midst of this great run that he's having, the power isn't really that good. So it's one of those things where it's like, how much can contact really take you to the next level? Or contact and doubles power? Because he does have a 234 ISO since the last roster update, which is good. Anything over 200, you're starting to put some power out there. But how much can they really upgrade his pop when it's mostly doubles? He has 1 homer. And since this last roster update, he is aggressively platooned. He's hitting 605. You heard me right. 605, 643, 895 against righties. and 222, 417, 222 against lefties. So it's going to be a big boost against righties, and that's it right now. I would not put him on the destined for diamond train because I just don't think he has the skills to get there. This man's is trying to get back to diamond, and I think they might have preemptively taken Karinchak off the diamond. Like, okay, so it's been a back and forth type of year. They put him on the diamond track pretty quickly, right? I think he beat it by a week or two from what I thought. I remember when he got it, I was like, oh, I didn't think he was going to get there yet, and he did. Great. Well, then they take it away from him, and I was like, okay, but why? Like, did he really deserve to lose it? I don't know, and I kind of come out as a no. I don't think that he necessarily deserved to lose it. Well, now he's back to dominating again. I think the key is that he started walking guys again at a pretty high clip, and so they're like, okay, well, same old with Karinchak. Well, now since the last update, 13 strikeouts, 1 hit in 6 2/3. He does have 6 walks though, so we're right back to will he, won't he type of deal with the walk rate. How much higher can the hit in K9 go? I mean, 17 points is the answer. They can go to 125. Will they? I think the K rate can continue to go up. I think it's going to get him to an 84, and then we'll just have to wait and see. I think that I don't need to spend much time on this one because his price is already still so high. But I do think he might finally get diamond soon because he's not walking guys. Shohei Ohtani isn't. And I think he's going to get to an 84. And if he continues to not walk guys, he'll be a diamond. But the market's already there, so there's not really much to invest in. And that's why there's no need to really talk about it. The only thing is that when he's a diamond, his price might go even higher than the base. And so if you think he can be like a, I don't know, 7,000 stub diamond, maybe there is still some room. But I'd be careful, man. Like, everybody has Ohtani. So I don't know. He's maintained a high price despite everybody already having him. So he might just be a unicorn. I have 11. I'm just hanging on to I bought these way cheap. Frankly, I should sell some of them right now. But yeah, it's really interesting to see what's going to happen with Ohtani. Let's go out to another diamond potential closer coming up, and that is Edwin Diaz. Now, I talked about him on a Destined for Diamond long time ago because he was a free roll, and he was fine. Like, he's been, kind of tracking along, just doing fine. Well, now he's kind of at that next level lately, and he looks great. His walk rate's way down. His strikeout rate's down a bit too. Like 12.2 is very good, but it's not the 17.5 that he had last year. But that's okay. I'm good with that because he's not walking guys. He's been on fire of late. 7 strikeouts, 1 walk in 4 2/3, 3 hits since the last roster update. I think he's going to get up to an 84, and then he'll be knocking on that diamond door. 2 more guys knocking on that diamond door come in the form of starting pitchers. One could join his other 2 teammates with diamond, and that's insane, but it is true. I got Peralta going up the 1 here to 84, and we see it right here, 41 BB9. If Freddie Peralta is not walking guys, he's going to go diamond sooner or later. And, he's going to be on the cusp this year, or this time, but I think if he goes through another 2 weeks after this and lowers the walk rate to, it's at 3.7 right now. If he goes another 2 weeks and lowers it to like 3.4, that might be enough. Or maybe he just gets enough strikeouts to get there too. He can just blunt force his way via strikeouts. He did have a 3.2 walks per 9 in his last 3 starts, which is great, and an 11.6 K9, which is fucking fantastic. He leads the National League in strikeouts, so there's going to be a K and hit boost a little bit here. The walks are what's going to determine if he gets to diamond, I think. And then this guy, I know this one's going to disappoint some of y'all, but I don't quite think he's there yet. I think he's going to go up 1 point. And if Carlos Rodon continues to dominate, then he'll go diamond. But I think right now it's going to be the 1 point move for Rodon. But he's right there, right? If I'm putting somebody in an 84, that means they can go 85, right? Like it kind of goes without saying. But I will say, you look at the 2 starts since the last roster update, excellent. 17 strikeouts, 5 walks, 4 hits, fewer hits than walks. You love to see that. That's going to be a 2.6 hit 9. And that's the thing. He has an AL best 5.1 hit 9. Strikeouts are off the charts. Walk rate's very good. He's right there, man. He is right there. And I think he's got a great chance to go. So you should already be invested in him if you are a fan here. Because it's man, the more and more I'm looking at it too, I'm wondering if like I should just give him the extra point. The problem was, so on the entire list, I ended up with 6 diamonds and another who was on the cusp. And frankly, Rodon's basically an 84.5. To be quite honest, he's so right there, man. I don't know. It's just a matter of like, do they give it to Rodon or Wheeler? You know, I think it might only be one of the two. Because how many diamonds are they going to add this week? I don't know. Just stay invested in Rodon though, because the way he's pitching, it's a matter of time. It's not if, but when. Let's go out to everybody's favorite team and talk about 2 potential new diamonds. This won't piss anybody off. That that Altuve and Correa have been awesome. I'm not going to belabor the point with them though, because they're both so high in price right now. Market's already there, but they've been killing it. And I think one for sure has to get it, if not both. Frankly, I think both should. They're former diamonds playing at their diamond level. They've both been amazing this year, and they should both go diamond. I think they should definitely go. The aforementioned Zach Wheeler, I do have him going diamond. He's also there as far as the market is concerned. Strikeout rate's been through the roof. Frankly, I'm surprised it's still just a 68 right now, but maybe they're just waiting a little bit to say, hey, let's just make sure before we go diamond on him. But he has an 11.1 K9. He needs to go, and it needs to be this week, in my opinion. I'm so shook on this one, but Craig Kimbrell, you're a god, okay? I'm sorry I roasted you. I did not think that you were coming back, but here you are. You are back, and I'm here for it. I really am. Even though I was roasting him, I like when Craig Kimbrell's great. I hate the arm thing, but it makes him a fun villain to root against, and be disappointed when he decimates your team. Since the last roster update, my man has 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, 0 hits, and 5 1/3. He's just been so dominant. I think it's time to put him back to diamond. And that's the thing. That's why I think it could be a big diamond week, because you're putting 3 big guys, Correa, Altuve, and Kimbrell, back to diamond. And I think that matters, right? When established diamond players lose a bit and then they go back to that diamond caliber, they deserve to go back, and maybe even a little bit quicker. Not that this would be quick. Kimbrell's been excellent since the middle of last year all the way through this year. So it's not like they're just doing it on a whim. But yeah, Kimbrell, Correa, Altuve got to go, I think. And Wheeler's right there. He should go too. And then, like I said, Rodon is kind of that 84.5 that I have, along with another 84.5 who's on the subscriber only list. And then the last one we'll talk about is just a diamond to diamond, but I think he's going to go up to 90 because he's just a god. And I mean, we're getting to a point here, if they continue to upgrade him as they should, where Vlad's going to be usable at least like off your bench. I mean, I know there's another Vlad already that's better, so maybe not, because you could just use that one. But he's so good. He's so good. It's unreal. I swear he hits a homer every day. I know that's not exactly true, but it feels like it. And so the real key to maybe going like into the 90s, if he doesn't get to 90 this week, would be more power against lefties. But it's hard to complain about anything he's doing because he's been fantastic. So I got him going up to a 90, and that might move his price up over double-digit thousands. That's a very clunky way to say that. Over 10K, let's say. And I'm holding my one special extra Vlad just to see how high he gets. And that'll do it. There you go. That's 55 names with 6 new golds, 5 others at 79, 4 new diamonds, and 5 others at 84. And like I said, that's just half the list. The full list is actually 117. So there's a ton of names on there. If you are a subscriber to the Twitch chat or to the Twitch channel, you can get into the Discord, get the full list, and see what's what. It's already in there in the investment channel. If you are a subscriber to the Twitch feed, twitch.tv/sport. If you're watching this on YouTube, come out, subscribe, get that full list. There's also an investment chatter channel that has a lot of great tips on things too. They're always talking about like, oh, let's invest in this card because tops now for this week, or all stars could be the hot ticket, so let's invest in these. They're always giving out great tips. People in the investment chatter channel are awesome. So it's not just me putting out everything. There's a group there that talks about investments of non-live series cards where we can make big stubs too. So that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Big update on Friday. We're going to be going 12 hours on Friday, 2 to 2. So if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure to join us, twitch.tv/sport. Thank you so much for watching.